really make this work for you? So the first question, and the most important question for half of you out there, is do you really want to be a manager? You know, there's a common assumption that it's the natural next step to a career. And what I've found over the years is that there's good reasons to want to be a manager and bad reasons. And very often, people want to become a manager for a lot of really bad reasons. So the first one is that they're just, they're sick of being told what to do. They just think, I'd rather tell other people what to do. I want control. Therefore, I should be a manager. Not a good reason to want to do that. The next most common one is that they're just simply tired of doing technical work. It's like, oh, I don't like doing that sort of support work anymore, or I don't want to do programming anymore. I'd rather sit back and let other people do it. Just because, management is not something you should be running away from what you're currently doing. It's something you should be embracing as something to run toward. A lot of folks do it because they think there's money in it. Oh, I want to get a lot of money, therefore management is the way to go. Well, in some cases there's a certain amount of truth to that, but it's not a real good reason to take on a role. And finally, they just want the prestige because, the manager title sounds better. Your family will be more impressed. You can wear a different set of clothes, whatever it is. But what I find for people who come to it with that perspective, they often end up really miserable because what they want is the title. They don't necessarily want the job of being a manager. All of these things, you'll notice, the bad reasons about being a manager have nothing to do with being a manager. These are things that people want either because they perceive them to be part of the job or they perceive it as something to get away from other things. So in other words, there's no good reason in any of here that has anything to do with actually doing the job of a manager. So what are some good reasons? Because there are a lot of good reasons, and I'm not trying to be negative about this, by the way. I've enjoyed my role in management over the years. But the first good reason is that you want to have an impact on a situation. Within your organization, you see, I think I could make things better, either for the company or for the people who work here. And you also want to help other people be productive, that you see that you derive personal satisfaction from helping other people, as opposed to technical work where you're primarily building things. You want to find a new challenge in life. You think, oh, I've done a lot of this technical work and I've enjoyed it, but I think I need to try something completely different. Or you really enjoy helping other people learn meaningful skills. That is, you help developing other people. These are all good reasons to consider going into management, but the things that surround the job are not necessarily the things that should draw you to it. Now, I'm not going to lie, there are some rewards for going into management. There's prestige. You have sometimes a bigger office, people report to you, you might get a fancier car, whatever. Sometimes, not always. There's plenty of management roles that don't come with a lot of prestige. There's money. I don't know about in India, but in the US, there's often, although it's not as much as it used to be, it used to be that if you wanted to make more money and you were technical, you had to become a manager because eventually the amount of money you could make was just limited in a technical role. Most companies today here in the US really have sort of dual tracks that you can continue to make more money as a senior technical person in addition to making more money as a manager. And they've recognized that both tracks have similarly high value. But again, there's managerial roles that don't come with lots of money. There's influence. People say, I really want to be able to change the direction of the organization. And sometimes you do get that, but that also depends on the organization, its culture, and its size. If you're a project manager in a company with 300,000 employees, your influence is going to be pretty limited in terms of the large picture. Now, the one thing it does come with is the opportunity for advancement, because you've got a chance to try something new. And often enough, if you do well at that, new opportunities continue to come your way. But just because there are rewards, don't forget, there are also costs to doing this, to making the choice to become a manager. You're now accountable, not just for yourself and your own production, you're accountable for an entire group of people. you're going to be taking on the headaches for a whole team. Even though you probably work long hours and work hard in a technical role, a good chance you're going to work even longer hours. It may not look like it, but most managers work a lot of time. It's also a very stressful role because you have to take the burden on for a wide variety of people. And we'll talk some more about where the stress comes from as we go. But the other cost that's really important to pay attention to is the loss of technical work. And we'll talk some more about this as we go. But you will not be the same technical person you are today if you choose to go into management.